that way. I thought we were.
Oh, sorry. All right, so guess what? I have Remax. Here, I'm gonna put this like this. I have Remax Israel broker owner, Remax Vision in Jerusalem. Here, Ariyel. It's a pleasure to be with you. And you know, I got referred by our tour guide, David Sussman, and he speaks very highly of you. And I just kind of wanted to get a state of the market in Israel, and you know how different it is kind of in the United States. I mean, we briefly spoke, you know, a little off, you would call it camera, about, you know, the prices. So what is the average price in Israel and Jerusalem?
So the average price in Jerusalem for an apartment is about 2,700,000 shekels. So that's about $850,000. Unfortunately, there's a shortage of land. A small country, an even smaller city. So there's very little new development. And so prices are going up every year. We haven't seen a decline in prices even through the Intifada and the terrorist attacks. Prices keep on going up. So what happens is that the population is growing faster than we can build apartments. So property just gets very expensive.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Jerusalem is, I guess a lot like, you know, New York or Manhattan or even California prices in the States. And when you walk around here, you get that kind of almost like the Brooklyn feel, you know, that kind of Manhattan feel. And it's everyone, you know, when I came over here, you know, just the first time I came over was in 2001, and when I came over here, it was everyone said, "Oh, Israelis, you know, all it's rude, and this and that," and it couldn't be further from the truth. The nicest people I could tell you right now, you know, they're extremely nice and very. And great. So appreciate the hospitality. You know, one of the things that we talked about briefly was the zoning restrictions, which I was kind of interested in. It really has you know, it may not have had an effect on the actual real estate, but it seems to have you have a hard time in getting a lot of projects completed.
So Jerusalem's an ancient city. If you look around, you see that all the buildings here are old. They're ancient buildings, and so in order to keep the city looking like Jerusalem, the zoning is very difficult. It's a big political argument of whether to allow building high-rises in an ancient city like Jerusalem. And so the zoning is very, in other words, in this area, for example, you can build only 4 stories and only 75% meterage per land. So if you own a lot that's 1,000 meters, you can only build 750 meters. Most of that was built already 60 years ago. So very few buildings here. You can see there are 3 floors, not 4, right? Those rights are worth a lot of money.
I'm the biggest
We're getting more zoning for new areas, right? So the city's growing, but it's already a big city. So the outskirts of Jerusalem aren't really Jerusalem. So it's not a competition for a buyer who wants to live in Jerusalem is not going to go buy in the outskirts.
Right.
So again, you know, they can build a lot outside. It's a completely different city. So it's not even like Brooklyn. It's like someone who wants to buy an apartment in Manhattan, and you tell them to go buy in New Jersey.
Right.
All right. It's just not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same.
So you know, Remax Vision. So when you decided to partner and purchase the franchise with Remax, you mentioned to me that you know the reason why was because you know you needed that bigger brand or you know maybe more support. So you know kind of almost like a shared resources kind of thing. So you know I guess to explain you know why Remax in Israel.
So I mean I don't have to tell anyone about the Remax brand, right? As strong as the brand is in the States, it's just as strong in Europe and probably stronger in Israel. We just did a survey, I have it up in the office, where we did an unassisted survey. We called up people, thousands of people in Israel, and asked them, just name a real estate brand, right? And 85% of the people, the first brand that they came up with was Remax. So the brand is very, very strong. but that's not the main reason that I joined Remax. I've been in the market for 15 years. I've been working with brokers in different capacities, as a lawyer, as a developer, with brokers from all the other companies. And the reason I joined Remax is because the Remax agents are more knowledgeable, okay, and more professional and more honest. So for me to put a brand on my reputation, my name, there's no doubt that it was going to be a Remax brand, which is accepted by people to be a more professional, more respectable, more honest brand. I also see a movement in Israel from most brokerages being a mom and pop shop of 1 or 2 or 3 agents. We see throughout the last few years that the big brands are getting bigger, the offices are getting bigger, and the small mom and pop shops are shutting down and joining the big brands. And the reason for that is mainly the technology. We have websites and systems just like you do in the States, but those websites and systems cost millions of shekels, which the smaller mom and pop shops they can't keep up with the competition. And so the smarter choice for them to do is to shut down and join a bigger brand, which gives them that technology together with the brand and everything that comes with that.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why, obviously all of that is phenomenal in Remax, and the reason why I think Remax is phenomenal is because of the network. I get to meet broker owners like yourself around the world. I mean, Remax is everywhere. So when I walk down, I go to a city, a different city I've never been to, or a country I've never been to. I get to meet so many great people that doing the same thing and having the same mindset and the like-mindedness. Always having that goal in mind, and I think it's great, and I certainly appreciate you sharing. I'll tell you, I mean, imagine if in Boca Raton, Florida, we had average sale price of $800,000. That's that's considerable. So I appreciate your insight and thank you, and hopefully everyone enjoyed a little brief snippet of what Remax Israel and Ariyel has to provide you. So if you are looking in Jerusalem, anyone that may be looking, certainly look up Ariyel with Remax Vision Real Estate in Israel. And thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming, and I hope to revisit you back in Boca.
Absolutely. Come on down.